Well, hello once again. Yes, this is me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual from HASLINGDEN, north of Manchester in the UK, on Thursday the 5th of January 2012. Today I'm going to have to eat the humblest pie imaginable and apologise profusely and sincerely to Nokia, the mobile phone company, and in particular to the CEO of that company away in Finland. Now it's a long story this, and it's a little bit technical, but it might interest you. For 3 years I have been travelling on a regular basis to Romania, where my girlfriend lives. In particular to Bucharest, although we have travelled around within Romania itself. My time has largely been spent in Bucharest, the capital, pronounced Bucuresti actually. And on every occasion I have taken with me my mobile phone. My mobile phone is from Virgin Mobile. In fact, I have 3 Virgin Mobile SIM cards, and I have 3 Virgin Mobile phones. And what happened was this. When I first went, I had a Sony Ericsson phone. And this worked perfectly and never failed me. Quite an old phone, I'm not going to bother telling you about it, but it worked perfectly. That was on the first trip. Then I made a mistake, at least I thought I made a mistake, and decided to get a more up-to-date mobile phone, a Nokia, which I did. And I then took a long time uploading into it hundreds of phone numbers. And then off I went to Romania with it. And as you know, when you go around Europe, this is technically what is called roaming. And I would get off the first leg of my journey, for example, on KLM. I would change planes in Amsterdam, and as soon as I switched on my Virgin Mobile phone in the airport, it would immediately say, "Welcome to the Netherlands," and usually the network would be T-Mobile. I could send a message to my girlfriend, and then of course I would have to switch the phone off for the next leg of the trip, for the flight from Amsterdam to Bucharest, because you're not allowed to have a mobile phone switched on while you're up in the air. Then when I got to Bucharest, they have the same phone companies, Vodafone, Orange and T-Mobile. T-Mobile and Orange have united now, of course. But they also have one called Cosmote, pronounced Cosmote, pronounced Cosmote, but written Cosmote, C-O-S-M-O-T-E. And initially I had no problems, although it did take a while for the phone to latch on to a mobile operator. But then, several times, in the particular part of Bucharest in which I found myself, Sector 3 as it's called, it does sound rather reminiscent of the communist era when you talk about Sector 3, the phone for some reason wouldn't work. And what would happen would be as follows. I would, for example, type out a text message, press send, and then it would try to go. You could see the little indicator showing that it was trying, and then suddenly it would stop and it wouldn't send the message. And this happened on a number of occasions in Bucharest. And at the time I thought I'd made a big mistake in buying a Nokia phone. So when I came home, I was so irate about this that I actually deleted all the 300 phone numbers and wrapped the phone up, because I couldn't find online, or at least couldn't find it easily online, a service centre for Nokia phones. I wrapped it up and wrote a long letter with it and sent it to the CEO of Nokia in a town called Espoo in Finland. Thought no more about it. A month later, I started getting messages from a Nokia service centre in the Norwich area. And they apologised profusely and sent me a replacement phone. Well, I then spent ages and ages uploading again the same 300 phone numbers, because I hadn't yet figured out that you could do this online. And I think that model phone that they sent me couldn't do that. So a few months later, off I go to Romania again, and the same problem happened again. So I decided, noticing that the phones were made sometimes in Hungary, sometimes in Romania, I thought it must be shoddy workmanship. And I actually made a video to this effect, which was extremely popular, one of my most popular videos. So I'm now going to have to remove it, because as I'm going to explain, it wasn't Nokia's fault at all. So that was the second Nokia phone that they replaced, and that had the same problem. I sent it back again. And eventually they upgraded me to this very nice phone. It's a flip phone. Now I like a flip phone, this one in particular, because it flips open with one hand. So if you're on a train or you're walking down the street, you can open it quite easily. I like a flip phone because the screen isn't shared with the buttons. So the buttons can be quite large and the screen can be quite large. And this seems to hold an unlimited number of telephone numbers, plus addresses, plus email addresses and web addresses, plus all the usual games, the camera, email. Although it doesn't support Yahoo, it will support Google Mail, but not Yahoo for some reason, which is of not much use to me. And I like the phone very much. It has lots of good qualities. But next time I went to Romania with it, having spent ages putting the telephone numbers on, the same problem happened again. It wouldn't connect. And I'd try and send a message, or my girlfriend would try and phone me, and the phone wouldn't work. Not all the time, but it always seemed to happen at important occasions when we needed to communicate. So I'm not going to tell you any more about this phone. It has different covers, so you can have a green or a red depending on your mood. And you can also display the time on the outside, which is quite handy. You don't have to flip the phone open to see the time. So while this time, as I say, I was in Bucharest and the same problem happened. As luck would have it, I had with me my Sony Ericsson. Quite an old model of Sony Ericsson, but a very good, reliable phone. So I decided, and it was Christmas Day that I decided this, I decided to switch the SIM card over, hoping that the Sony Ericsson would prove the better telephone compared to the Nokia. And I did this, And lo and behold, the Sony Ericsson wouldn't work with the SIM card from this phone. So I thought, well, it cannot be the phone at fault. It has to be the SIM card. And then I spotted the connection between the two phones and why they wouldn't work. Because both phones, of course at different times, because I only have one SIM card between the two, both phones, when they were connected to Orange, had the problem. They wouldn't work when Orange was handling the mobile operations. Luckily, both phones have the ability, through the settings control, the settings program, you have the ability to be able to manually choose your operator. So I manually decided to switch from Orange to Cosmote with both phones. And amazingly, they both worked. So the problem wasn't the Nokia phone, and it wasn't the Sony Ericsson phone, and it wasn't necessarily the Virgin SIM card, because that worked perfectly well with Cosmote, the Romanian mobile operator, which also operates in Greece, I believe. So there is some problem between Orange and Virgin. And although it's Christmas Day, I immediately emailed through the Virgin mobile website a complaint about this problem and all the hassle that I've had over 3 years. I've uploaded and downloaded hundreds upon hundreds of phone numbers and addresses and finally got them all in here. And this is very handy to have all these addresses in here, because sometimes I want to send postcards or something from Romania and I don't have to cart around an address book because it's all in here. But always be very careful about relying on one piece of apparatus for all your information, because if you lose it or it breaks down or if your battery goes flat, you've had it. So this is my apology to Nokia. I'm not going to blame Virgin until they've replied to my email, which they haven't done so far. And I've actually asked them about a Sony Xperia Mini Xperia or something it's called. And if they'll offer me a decent discount and I buy it, I would definitely do a review of it on YouTube. So forgive me, Nokia. Forgive me. I apologize. I cannot apologize enough. I'm now going to remove the offending video from YouTube because it wasn't your fault. Your phones are excellent. I don't know precisely what the problem is. If it turns out that it was the phone, but I can't believe it is, because both Sony and Nokia phones had the same problem when connected to Orange. So it has to be the connection between the SIM card of Virgin Mobile and Orange, the mobile operator in Bucharest. So that's it. Hope you've stayed with me. I won't describe this phone because you can't buy them anymore. It's a 7510 Supernova. Excellent little phone. If you can get your hands on one and it's working, try it. It might suit you very well. As I say, I've got so used to it now. I like the way it flips open like that. And I like the amount of information it can store. And it works so far perfectly well. Now that I've solved the problem in Romania and I connect to Cosmote while I'm over there, then it works perfectly. So, God bless, good night and cheerio, while it's still legal in the UK to say God bless. Take care and bye for now.